Open Mic Land, what is up? We are here on number 14.
What up, what up? Open Mic Landia.
Yeah, and we are actually December the 14th, so we're doing 14 on 14. Some 14 on 14 crime right now.
Watch out.
Yeah.
We got this whole, I don't know what kind of a, you want to call that.
Right. Just a coincidence. Let's not church it up.
Don't church it up, Dirt.
Yeah.
I get you.
But yeah, it's the holiday season, you know. It's one of those good times, I guess. Now we're getting closer to Christmas.
It's definitely feeling more Christmassy.
With the cold weather.
Oh yeah, the weather is kicking it, feeling good every day. We still have that midday heat spell, if you will, but it's
not bad.
Yeah.
It actually was chilly today. I kind of cut my jacket on for the most part, but we're cutting towel.
You got that wind and water in your face. It's a different story. Yeah, that was the story with me. You know, it'd be like in the shade, nice and cool and breezy, and I'd have to put on my sweater or something, and then you get out in the sun. It's like, I'll take the sweater off. Right. So
I know, just one of those. I know. I've learned a little trick. We have to wear uniforms, and I got a real thin pants, so I wear my running tights underneath.
Oh, see, that's
and just that extra layer to cut the.
It goes the distance.
Yeah. And sometimes, man, I'm wearing it throughout the day, and I'm like, fuck, because it's like midday, and I'm like, it's getting kind of hot now.
I'll easily throw my long johns on. You know what I mean? When it's super cold, we're going out. Like especially back in the day when we used to have pastor parties, and you knew it was gonna be a late night out in the frigid. I throw on the johns, right?
Right.
I remember being places and doing things, and someone spocked the johns on me. All jealous. Like, oh, you got your long johns on? No, man, you can't do it like that. Everyone's freezing nuts out here.
You're right.
Like, no, I'm comfortable, bro.
Yeah. Man, pasture parties, man. That's a thing of the past, apparently.
I wish it wasn't. I'd like to hear people talking that pasture parties still went down, but
right. It
doesn't.
I
don't. Oh man, what a shame. That was our thing back in the day.
Yeah, and
pasture parties were the.
I understand that people would have.
It was our social media.
Yeah, it really was. It's a really good way to put it. Is that you had these parties out on somebody's land and a big bonfire, and it's just all kinds of, like the whole social scene in high school was there. You had your band nerds.
Yeah,
you had your
every relevant group.
Exactly.
And it was still played on, if you will, like somewhat of pecking orders. It was a little bit higher escalation in respect, in non-respect, in however the format was in people's relationship. It was because they're not the school authority around. It was your own, social being, if you will, like that, and let you stand where you stood, or if you mingled, or if you, however it worked out. But you're right, everyone was there.
Yeah.
Jocks.
For sure.
Jocks threw most of the parties. Most of the parties.
And this is the thing about it is even the really sweet, nice girls were there, because remember there was plenty of times where we'd be there drinking and party. We were kids, so we were smoking and drinking. Yeah. And I remember the really nice girls would kind of come up and they'd just kind of like study you, like I can't believe I'm here. And that's how you knew that you had the really nice, sweet girls. You remember? Because they would kind of just stand next to you and just kind of study the whole thing, like, this is what it's like.
This is y'all's pastor party. They didn't call. I mean, it was loosely termed pastor party, but kegger. Wasn't it? Oh, we're having a kegger out at such and
That's
such.
That's definitely probably the more popularized name for it.
But commonly known also as pastor parties.
Yeah, bonfires.
Oh, the bonfires.
But yeah, man, I've talked to a few kids that are younger, man, and every time I've mentioned, like, hey, y'all still have bonfire parties, and they just don't understand. They don't know what that means. Yeah, they don't know about that.
Oh, what a shame. Countless hookups that were, for sure randoms at pastor parties, like two different ends of spectrums of groups, completely separate.
An unknown kid could become a legend there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He's looking up at the cheerleader or something.
Yeah, just some regular guy that was in your math class, and all of a sudden you're just like, dude, that's that guy that downed those 24 beers, dude. And I was like, really? That guy? Yeah, that guy. It's just
homie can drink.
Yeah, good times. The music was always a big part of it. So there was always wars of, my speakers are better, I got 212s, bro, and a kicker amp, and someone's all like, no, man, I got it, and there was always the war for the music.
For sure. Like, well, I'll play mine, and go louder, all right, you win, or who knows what. Like you said, it harks back to like how we were talking about the bass and how heavy it was with the speaker systems here. Yeah, that carried on into the gradualness.
Chris Hinderlock always had a nice setup.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Kicker madness.
And the further into the night, the more people drank, everybody would turn into a DJ. Play this! Play this!
Back in the day when people carried books of CDs.
Yes, the suitcase of CDs. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Those are the greatest. You'd see, like, Homie Colton had 3 or 4, right? Like, and then other groups, looking through other people. We got the same stuff. Finally, you run into one that had some really wild shit that was, gotta check it out. Listen to this, But you grow up around the same group enough, you almost, and there.
Sublime was a staple.
Yeah, for sure.
There was your Stevie Ray Vaughan's, Smashing Pumpkins every once in a while. Yeah, depending on who played, you got a different vibe from somebody, And it was funny how the vibe was controlled by the music, People got wild when Limp Bizkit, because Limp Bizkit was huge in our era.
Awesome, man.
And the first Kid Rock album, like all those Deftones and all that stuff. When people would play that, the party was a little bit wilder, And then all of a sudden, you get more later into the night and Sublime, and everything was chill. That's whenever people were like, "Hey, man, I know you. You're in my math class. Yeah, man, we never talked. Really, what's up, man?
You seem cool, bro. Yeah, you're cool too."
Yeah, so you would have like the jocks sitting with the Mexican guy, that wasn't really a clique because he was just a Mexican guy that hung out with other Mexican guys, and then you had the nerdy guys. I mean, it was like the whole clique, just everybody mingled together. And like I said, as I was gonna say, is that the bonfires, I think now the cops want to put it into the whole drinking thing, which is bad, but I think there's a part of that social networking that kind of is lost that should kind of be relevant still.
Man, it's the art, the gift of gab, the art of rapping with someone, just sitting there back and forthing in real life about, I don't know, every day-to-day shit, not just on the whatever your favorite social media might be, and
right.
I don't know. I guess maybe that's bigger because it's on a global status. But to me, the interaction right here, face to face, says a lot more to what I want to get to say to someone rather than typing. And there's validity to those words and sentiment, if you will, whatever you're trying to convey, right? But it's just not the same to me. I don't know, you know what I mean?
I'm always going to remember those bonfire parties and whatnot.
Epic. Yeah. Like I said, me myself being a people watcher and, if you will, someone out there trying to do his own thing at the same time, riding both ends of the yin yang there. Like, man, pastor parties were there. You could see all kinds of stupid stuff. Do your own stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember, speaking of stupid stuff, plenty of stuff happened. I remember, like, Sergio de la Cruz trying to jump over the bonfire.
The leg breaker.
Yeah, he broke his ankle or something. Yeah,
that was
the bonfire.
That was way out on the other end of the county, too.
That was in Stonewall somewhere.
Here in Gillespie County back then, like how we're saying, the relevance of, we would go to different counties for pastor parties. Remember, Homegirl had one almost to Johnson City.
In High?
Yeah, way out past High and all that. Like, we all the way out to the south end over here, going almost to Kerr County.
Yeah.
White Oak Road and all them.
Harper.
Yeah, it was.
CJ takes us to Harper.
Yeah, we'd be way out on the other side of that county. Like, we drove for these places. We sought out. All these people, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. We sought these things out to get it, We
would go to...
have a good time. It was like we went and found it.
Yeah.
It was
Rio
like,
Nicholas,
come here. Jam Fest parties, dude.
R.I.P. Rio, he had some great parties.
R.I.P. dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah, he had some great parties.
Yeah.
And it was all fun, It was like Johnny said, a social networking that was, for one night, everybody got along,
To me, on a true, like, all these people get so-called, if you will, fixes off of, likes, thumbs upping, and all that stuff, right? They get these, what do they call them?
They're
endorphin boosts, right? These, like, they got all these escalation of fixes, right?
Right.
Those parties were that in droves. It was bucket loads of it. It wasn't a little, like, it was smiles it was, eyes glowing from all the crazy stuff you see. Man, it was true life.
We were lucky though,
just dumps of endorphin.
We were lucky in the sense that we were young, man. Like we were seventh and sixth graders hanging out with seniors.
Yeah,
like because we just
easily. A lot of the people were already postgraduates.
Yeah, not everybody had that luxury of being.
For sure.
But for some reason, our crew, Johnny, me, you, Colton, Bobby.
Yeah,
I think. Well, that's because we had older sisters and brothers and whatnot.
That's for sure. That helped,
But we were all the young kids hanging out with high schoolers, I remember that. And then we became the high schoolers.
What do the frat people call them when they get the, your legacy?
Legacy, yeah. For the most part.
We were FBG party legacies, if you will, coming up. So we definitely had that in where the so-called popular guys of the upper, age groups, we were already cool with them.
Right,
we were already down like
so every time we would go to parties, there was no threat or risk for us, it was just hanging out with friends, so we had that luxury. It wasn't an unknown, like other people had those unknowns going, I think, to parties and whatnot. And there was always cliches of like fights happen at these bonfires, and I gotta say there weren't really many. I remember like 2 to 3 maybe.
Yeah, but there was a lot of build up that there could be, but there wasn't You're right, there wasn't nothing like.
Like epic. You look at Dazed and Confused, and they had like the whole fight scene, like.
I got one good punch. That's what it's about.
I came here to drink beer and kick ass, and I'm almost out of beer. That guy. That's famous line.
Hell yeah, that dude's epic. I bet you Wheeler Walker wrote.
Wheeler Walker.
Yeah, he wrote his kicking ass and eating whatever, kicking ass and fucking bitches or whatever the line is, right? I bet he wrote it after that, dude. He was like, man, harking on that guy. I gotta write this song.
Yeah, man, but it just ain't happening anymore. So I guess we were some.
What a loss!
We were some of the last generations. The cops cracked it. The cops.
I had many cops come in and raid on different pastor parties we went to. I remember. I think it was Todd. One of the.
Many people got more hurt trying to run from the cops than actually drinking or whatever. Yeah. Like I remember we were at a Matt Arbright.
Oh, homeboy busted his kneecap.
Gilberto Lopez broke his knee, or something like that.
Busted it really good. Yeah. Luckily, I think we were almost out of school. Maybe
I could think
of
a few more.
Track career.
Yeah, I could think of a few more. I think that's the
No, you're right. I remember, speaking of the one out in high, I jumped out on trespassing charges, right? Like we were all getting away, jumping fences. I was like, if I can get over so many, they ain't coming.
Dude, we ran because the cops showed up. Remember? Yeah. Okay,
many a time.
We'll give you a brief little story of this high party. There's that we were all having. There's like multiple kegs.
3, 4,
50, 60 people. Some were Fredericksburg, some were from other parts of. I don't know where but there was people.
People come from all around. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you always caught. Like we were talking about the other.
I want to say there was at least 4 to 5 kegs. And like I said, about 70, 60 people, somewhere in that nature. Anyway, but it's a good time. We're hitting about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Good time. And I remember Leo being like, I gotta go.
Digging out
something, so he leaves and he's driving in his car and he sees people coming to the party. So he thinks there's people coming to the party, so he's just being playful and playing chicken with them. Just not like hardcore chicken, but just being a nerd and playing chicken with them. Well, as he's playing chicken with them, the lights go on and it's a copper, so he has to veer off and get around them because the cops hit the light and they're busting the party. Thankfully, he did that because the cops showed that they were on their way a lot sooner than they would probably
wanted to. They were trying to sneak up.
Yeah, and
pull a full-on rules over.
So the cops, the lights went off, so people scatter like roaches when the light switch comes on. You know what I'm saying? So everybody digs out.
I was one of them. Like I said,
I was one of them too. And so
people lost their keys.
Yeah, so people are just scattered in the woods, hiding behind trees, staying within distance to see what's going on. Or at least I stayed within distance to see what was going on. I was lucky enough to be with a dude who had a pack of cigarettes in a car. So we just sat it out. We waited it out, And anyway, but I could hear those cops asking questions, getting the people who stayed and got in trouble. They asked, they were getting in trouble. Anyway, but
who else is out in the field?
I remember the distinctive sound of them pushing over the kegs and then a big old sledgehammer or a pick of some type hitting those kegs.
Yeah, dirty.
And the sound of the beer just being splashed all over the ground,
I was too far for that, I guess.
Yeah. And then we scattered. Everybody I was there with, I never saw them. I was lucky enough to be with this homie that I'd never met in my life, who happened to live behind the apartments at Walmart there, and gave me a ride into town, man. I don't know the dude, never seen the dude since.
Man.
I'm so appreciative.
I've had those before. Like one,
it's just faith, destiny. I met the guy. He was jamming some good tunes on the way back to town.
Even better.
It was that It was that Masterpiece stuff back when it was just hitting their stuff, you know.
Yeah. Bowdy.
But yeah, man, pastor parties, thing of the past.
That's a pity, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I really feel like, man, it was so much to be had with that.
It really was.
So much to be. I mean, granted. Underage drinking, so on and so forth.
Right.
That's being done anyways. You know, people shouldn't kid themselves. I myself, not being a parent, I don't feel like I put those parent blinders on. I feel like that's one of the losses in parenthood is you get this blinders on. I feel. Right. I mean, I'm only opinion, right? I'm completely outside box looking in, but you get these blinders as to say that these people you're bringing up, these kids, right, aren't people. They're not going to do what people do. They're not going to go out and drink. They're not going to. It's something that's a given. You know what I mean? People are people. Kids are kids. So I don't feel like we're pressing that is. Oh yeah, go have raging parties.
Right.
We're talking about it, and if you will, trying to. Say that it was a loss on some sense because
you learn to handle yourself.
Yeah, you get real world experience where.
Well said.
In the sense that it's a lot of your own peers that you already know, right? But the control factor of the school side is cut out, so you're riding a little bit looser. You're getting a little bit, like I said, that upper echelon of experience for. Just day-to-day, real-world social life. When people get in a job experience and they've never done this so-called bantering with someone in that type of a environment, and then they're all wondering why they're kind of like anxious for their first day of work. It's like, man, it's just like talking to anyone.
You never put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, Like I remember plenty of valedictorians being at these parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's good for them.
Good
for them that they were like, you know what? Because of these guys, I remember a few that they didn't drink, but they were still there to mingle, and that's good for them.
Being the, if you will, social dude that I was, and I spoke to everyone and. Different, like you said, the valedictorian to our local fucking lowlifes or whatever.
Yeah, because those were there.
Yeah, I mingled, right? So there was many a time where they would, hey, I know you're doing what you're doing. Let me just watch you. Let me see. And then, like you said, it could have been what we would consider the smartest kid in school, or who knows who, the lead guy in the track, or head football star, or whatever it was. It was like, they all knew, and they wanted to be hip,
right?
But not be put out on the, like everyone talking their business, and that's one of the like bad sides to social media. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, the big world stuff. People are getting out, talking to everyone else out there and learning different cultures to be had, I guess. But the non-interaction, it's where they lose that, it compounds, because now people can badger you even worse too, like that bullying, the cyberbullying. It's that much, in school they can look at you, they might be able to jeer you a little bit, but you leave, right? But on the phone they got you.
Yeah.
On the internet they got you. It's like you turn and I'm here, whatever it could be. People get bothered for the slightest of things, right? It could be, oh, I should have never worn those pink tights. And then now you're a pink tights person.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the worst day of your life, and you don't.
Pink polo guy.
Yeah. And it badgers them enough. Look at it. Two way different ends just to talk about the social world. You've seen the politician guy just committed suicide, right?
No.
Yeah, there was homie. You know how there's all these sexual allegations, all these people saying.
Was it Al Franklin?
No, it wasn't him. It was another guy. I want to say Kentucky or one of them. I'm not too sure, but he held a seat. He was a legit dude. I think he was trying to get re-voted in. Just committed suicide over the allegations, right?
No shit.
Porn star August Ames just recently committed suicide.
And this was because...
Well, she was getting, from what I read the article, she was getting badgered over not wanting to have sex with a gay porn actor. I didn't catch his name.
Another female. Oh, it's a male.
I'm only guessing male because I'm sure she's had to have done lesbian sex, right?
Yeah.
Only my assumption. It's not like I've seen every video of hers, but
that seems a little.
So way if different ends of the spectrum, getting, if you will, their own lives taken by themselves for social media factors, being
just bullying on social media.
You know what I mean?
Not even physically in your face bullying, but just mentally on the just words on a screen you're reading. I guess
exactly.
That's how powerful that is.
Yeah.
Not for me, but that's.
Well, yeah, me myself.
But then again, I've never been bullied.
But that's where I'm saying that their world is this social world, this whole like computer essence. You know what I mean? It's them. They feel it. It gets emotionally tied into their being, I guess, and it's enough to sabotage where they're willing to end it. So
I'm glad you brought up bullying because there's a big story. You're talking about the porn star bullying, but there's a bigger bullying story, and I don't know if you heard of it. Have you heard of the name Keegan Jones?
No, it doesn't actually sound familiar.
Well, this happened. I think it was sometime either at the beginning of the week or sometime last week. There's this little boy named Keegan Jones. He was getting bullied, and so the mother.
Out of curiosity.
Here you go.
Why did they bully? What's the point of it? Why do I enjoy taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay.
What did they say to you?
They make fun of my nose. They call me ugly. They say I have no friends.
What did they do to you at lunch?
Put milk on me and put a hand down my clothes. Threw bread at me.
Is it just you?
Yep.
Or is it other kids too that feel that way?
Say it's other kids too.
How's that make you feel?
I don't like that they do it to me, and I'm pretty sure don't like that they do it to other people, because it's not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it. And it's not their fault. But if you are made fun of, just don't.
Wow, homeboy was
powerful, right?
Super. You know what I mean? At least he's intelligent enough to have this breakdown, if you will, of his circumstances and others. And it sucks that he's super emotional version breakdown too.
There's more to the story.
Oh, is he a bullier?
No, check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
like, check it out. So this came out. We'll say this came out like on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know exactly, but this story came out and it went viral. The mother tweeted it or whatever, put it out there, and the video shot out, man. I mean, superstars: LeBron James, Kevin Durant, fucking Dana White.
Wow, the big names.
All these big names, actresses. Captain America invited him to come to a premiere for the next movie for the Avengers. Yeah, so I mean, it got out and people are reacting. But here's the thing, man. And a gentleman started a GoFundMe for some reason. For the kids like schooling and whatnot, for college and whatnot.
Okay.
He's like, this kid's getting bullied. I want to start a GoFundMe for him.
To extend.
Yeah, just because he's getting bullied and he has,
maybe he's hoping he could get him into a private school.
Right.
Which I'm sure that happens in private schools too.
So, I'm gonna play this video that was on the internet, and there's more to the story here. I could explain it to you, but there's more.
There's more. There's always more.
So this is his mother. And his father apparently, his father is a known white supremacist prison and all that. It hasn't really been in his life, but is a very known white supremacist. So, so the story is this kid was going around bullying people, calling him the N-word, and all this kind of stuff. So he was going around bullying people, and then it turns out he ended up getting bullied by the whole school. That was like, dude, you're a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And so that's where the video came from. Unfortunately, like I said, the GoFundMe thing raised like $50,000, and it got frozen because they realized
there was some BS.
Well, it's hard to call it BS because I think he was really getting bullied.
He probably was, and I mean, obviously he was, because look at, unless he's the best actor ever, and Captain America needs to change him over to a role.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he looks.
He was getting.
He looks legit emotionally beat up over this.
Right. But
you know,
there's, like I said, there's more.
But the bullying was only vice versa on him. Only flipped the script on his bootay.
Because and it's not his fault. He was raised by a man who's a white supremacist, and his mother apparently is some kind of.
So you think he was? That's why he came. So maybe he's telling his mom all this stuff and breaking down. Is like, y'all need to quit being like y'all are being, or he's literally legitimately asking for sympathy.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I just know that was the story. I don't want to give my opinion on it because he's a little boy.
Yeah.
But that's the story. Is that this poor boy, his mother sent out this video. Took a few days and it got out there. Stars and everybody were reacting. But as somebody started to do a little bit of research on the background of this boy and his upbringing, is they've realized that, like I said, the father's a white supremacist, known white supremacist, in prison time kind of a guy. And his
probably jammed Johnny Rebel mad hard.
Yeah. And his mother is some kind of she has these posts and tweets that people have found of just her being really hateful about minorities and just real hateful about stuff. So I mean that's the background of this boy. And if him going around calling other kids, trying to bully other African Americans and calling them the N-word and stuff like that, and then it ended up getting put on him. That I don't know if it's true or not. I was just told by a source about it. That's the thing about doing the podcast is I've gotten to talk to a lot of people from all over Facebook who are sending me stories and talking to me about stories. Yeah, and so that was just going off of a friend. This is actually a friend of mine who told me about this story.
He's like, no, check this.
She.
Okay, she. Yeah. Okay, well.
So she was the one that told me about that. So I just wanted to put that story out there because it got such a big impact on social media there for a little bit. Everybody was rallying around this bully, this kid that was getting bullied. And turned out there's more to the story.
Yeah,
you know?
He himself was a bullier, huh?
Yeah, so it's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. It's one of the common trends. It's much like they say, the abused becomes the abuser.
Right.
You know, so. And
you're not taught. You don't grow up hating.
No.
You're taught hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that these kids who don't have a chance, man, they just get raised in these households. Yeah, you know, and they just don't have a chance. But maybe he will. Maybe after seeing, you know, maybe he's like, LeBron James wants to be friends with me.
Like
I thought black guys were bad, and that could change his life, and that could change other kids' lives. So maybe, you know, despite the terrible outcome of what's being flooded with the story, maybe it turns out to be a positive in some way.
Yeah. There's no doubt that his breakdown, his emotional, you know, ness of it is going to be. I think he'll only gain from it. You know, the intuition. Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't like feeling like that, and I don't want anyone else to feel like that. So he shouldn't impose. He most likely wouldn't impose it further. Hopefully.
And things
change.
The story from the guy who started the GoFundMe, because there was a random guy that just saw the story that started the GoFundMe. He put out a report that said the child is still going to get the money for college, so that's good. Yeah. He's still going to have his college.
Extend his
And even if he does stay a hateful young man, let's say he goes to college and that all changes because he gets exposed to all these different cultures.
He gets experience in that, and his education only grows. I think that'll fade.
Right, yeah, because you get experience, and he's going to bump into people that he's going to be like, wow, that guy was actually really nice, even though I wasn't supposed to like him, you know? Have you ever seen that one story about that one gentleman who was an African American, and he put himself in harm's way and would go talk to this guy. Let's watch this video. I'm going to share this video with you guys. It's powerful.
How one man convinced 200 Ku Klux Klan members to give up their robes.
I've heard of this story, but I've never seen it.
This is making friends with the KKK. Daryl Davis convinced 200 Ku Klux Klan members to give up their robes. Davis asks the Klan members why they hate him. He asks questions trying to understand their beliefs instead of fighting them. Through the questioning, the Klan members begin to see flaws in their reasoning.
If you spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, with your arch enemy, you will find that you have something in common with him or her.
Davis says that once a friendship blossoms, Klan members usually realize that their hate was misguided.
I got more respect for that black man than I do you white.
Davis collects the robes of the Klansmen he has converted as a symbol of the progress he has made against racism.
That's wild. Keeps the robes. That's like who is that? Willie Mays or whatever in the baseball movie where he collects all the gloves from the bases he's stolen.
Willie Mays Hayes.
That's full on Willie Mays Hayes action right there. Let me get your robe. Or what's the guy on the street racing up in Oklahoma that takes the sleeves? I don't know if you ever watched that show.
No.
It's a pretty decent show. It's not bad. You know me, I like meathead, muscle car racing stuff. So.
Fast and Furious?
Yeah, it's Fast and Furious-y.
No, but that's a neat story to think that
sure.
this guy could go in there and you have these people full of hate.
That's usually exactly what he said is usually the case. Even your worst enemy you start speaking with, 9 times out of 10 going to have something that y'all both appreciate and have in common.
Right. So that's pretty neat. And I hope he's still getting at it and he's still talking to people and.
Yeah, convert them, bro. Convert them.
Because the reality of it is there's terrible people in all walks of life. There's killers in every race. There's liars in every race.
Mm-hmm.
There's great people in every race. There's so many valuable people in every race. So to just single out somebody's skin color of why you hate that race, that's just ridiculous.
It's pretty stupid.
Fucking ridiculous.
Pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's not cool. But it was nice to see that guy's out there trying to do something like that, you know? Cause
always humanity, man.
To go
Someone's
into
out
the
there
snake
doing
pit
it.
like that,
Yeah.
I mean, he could have easily put himself in harm's way, but he was willing to do that, and great things have happened because of that. So.
And you know, they're telling their buddies, it's like the whole theory of 5, you know, through 5 people you know the whole world, right? They know 5, you know 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5, right? I don't know if you've ever heard. I
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it's the 7, but I always heard it the theory of 5 or whatever, where you just, you know 5 people, they know 5 people, and different, if you will, and it just goes on and on and on. So, if this continues, eventually, there will be some change. You know, all those 200 members have to tell a few of their buddies, and then it's 400, and then it's 600, and then I don't know if they're all Klansmen, but they're at least more informed, bigots. I don't just want to say more informed white people, because then it's not, you know what I mean. But just more informed bigots, people who have
right,
opposition to whatever other race it may be.
Yeah, it's weird to think that we're in 2017 and there's still that racism's around, and it's still pretty prevalent. You know what I mean? Like
big time.
It hasn't lost any steam, really.
You know what? It's like it's like that whack-a-mole, right? You do knock some down over here, but it comes up over here. There's always someone peddling it in the background.
As a matter of fact, just to give you a story, I was just at a job site, and this was last Thursday. I was at a job site, and we were doing a job for a pretty well-known woman here in town, and we put in carpet for her, and it was an all day thing. So her grandson stopped by about right before we were done. So it was about 4 o'clock because he thought maybe I can help put some furniture back in, being a great grandson and whatnot. And apparently he's a hardworking kid or whatever. But he sees and was like, well, how's it going? Talks to my boss because he knows my boss and his son, and they talk whatever. So the kid leaves because we're still finishing up, and the grandma gets back, the lady that we're doing the house for. She gets back and she's like, oh, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. And the boss says, oh, your grandson came by. And she's like, yeah, he just, he always does little stuff for me around here. He's my wetback.
Oh.
And I'm right there, man.
You're right there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I wanted to get mad about it, not because I cared, but just because people are still going around saying that shit.
Yeah.
But here's one thing that chimed to me when I was kind of getting mad about it, being like, this fucking lady, what an ignorant fucking person. But here's what I thought to myself, is here she's throwing out this degrading term, yet to think about this, like when she said he's my wetback, meaning that's the guy that gets it done. When you want somebody to get it done, you ask him, who you view as a wetback. So in a sense, you're saying this honorable young man who's willing to help his grandmother and get shit done in an efficient way where you can count on him, she deems a wetback. So should I really be mad about that? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, she's in a sense.
It's a catch-22 for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to throw this on there too.
Have at it, boy.
Where she might even, for your own sake, of taking you as like so apparently looking white, where she felt more than comfortable.
I get that all the time.
You know what I mean?
I'm white all the time.
More than comfortable to be like, what's it to say a wetback, right? Like, so there's another factor where she's like, well, she obviously didn't think I was one, or she wouldn't have said it, or who knows what, right? Like, but still, it's the.
I got offended for a bit.
I could totally get that. I could totally get that where you'd be, what the fuck is this bitch talking? Maybe she does know I'm Mexicano or Latino or whatever.
I feel like I look Mexican.
So you're out there like, I'm in the streets representing, and she's knocking it down. So
I should have said some hardcore Mexican shit when she said, yeah, he's my wetback. I was like, oh, senora, you don't have just let her know. Hey.
No, you know what? I'm going to say that she's probably just how we were talking about a real person. You know what I mean? Not to hold back that politically correctness. She just legitly, like you said, maybe saying like, yeah, that's my hardworking motherfucker that you can't,
That's what I'm saying.
Get nothing but good stuff out of. Well, that's her wetback.
Yeah.
So.
I wanted to be mad.
It reminds me of I forget which white girl said it, but on and on between us Latinos, Tejanos, Hispanos, right? Like us Mexican Americans or whatever, and white girls, maybe even full on Mexicans, right? Some people don't make a distinguishment. We ourselves, we somewhat make a distinction, but some people just, Mexican is, they don't know. Anyways, so, some white lady was talking to one of us, if you will.
On the job site?
No, not on the job site. I think it was at ProBuilt or something like that, or basically, right? So it was a store. I forget. I want to say it was ProBuilt, but I'm not positive, and I can't remember Anyway, so. On and on about they were harking down, and the white guys were harking down on who I wish I could remember. Anyways, Mexicano right there harking down on.
And for the record, ProBuild is a hardware store.
Yeah, the Mexican American right there harking down on him, and he's like, whatever, like this person, that person, like, And the white girl behind the counter is like, nah, every white girl needs a good Mexican around.
Down with the brown.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Shout out.
Right.
So, some of them are just legitly, I think, cool might be the wrong term, but
down with the brown.
Down with the brown. Yeah. They're not racist in that sense to where we want to call them like, what the fuck are you talking? But they're just hip, if you will. But we don't catch it because we want to see them as, this possible racist. Oh man.
And that's this is the thing. As much as that kind of got me a little bit heated, I don't think by any means that woman was racist.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't. Because she talked to me throughout the whole day. Well, she had to have no Hispanic. Had to have, huh? I do not look that fucking Caucasian. There's no fucking way.
You know what? Like I myself, Carrie, I always thought growing up. I mean, we're in a community that, well, for me, I always distinguished it as there's either German or Mexican. You're either German here or you're brown, right? You're either or. Like you said, granted, it could have been Mexican American or full on wet or who knows what, right? I thought it was a given. You know what I mean? Well, here I am, Scott Bain. That's who it was. Homeboy, I was cruising with
Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty Bain, fucking full on white guy, upper echelon. Well-to-do white guy,
dude, yeah.
Smart guy, right? So we get around some Mexicanos, and I knew that I was just gonna have to speak to them in Spanish, and I did. I spouted off, and he full on was like, "Wow, I didn't know you spoke English." And I was like, I didn't know you spoke Spanish, right? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought you were just a dark-skinned white boy or something.
No way!
For real.
And
I was like, I never even thought that would be one of my descriptors. You know what I mean? That someone would describe me. Oh, he's just a dark-skinned white boy. I never thought that was going to be one of my descriptors. Like someone would be going to use that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So. You never know. I honestly don't think that they might.
It must be something because a lot of people think I am the same too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people until I say I'm Hispanic, they're like, really? So I'm like, fuck, what am I doing wrong or what am I doing right?
Maybe you got to jive up your English a little bit.
Maybe I need to start making my S's and C's and all that slurred up, like to share. Share. You want to sit in the share?
Hey, check out my Porsche.
Yeah, exactly.
Come hang out on my Porsche.
Right. But no, it's all good. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just
no.
I like being Hispanic and I like being Mexican. I like
to me.
I would like to think that it shows.
Yeah, to me that's one of my growing up for unfolding. If things that was a big factor was being bilingual.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought the world knew I was Mexican, but obviously I could have been mistaken for just a dark-skinned white boy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I still get it to this day, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I figured the terrible facial hair, the bad tattoos. I figured they would.
They had to know, right?
Yeah, but apparently not.
Maybe the white class is just downgrading that much, where they have to be like, oh, he's just.
We're letting everybody in that circle now.
Anyone can pass for white.
Looks good on my college record.
Yeah, anyone can pass for white these days.
Right. Scotty Bain, man.
Oh man, I hadn't seen homie since high school, and we started to roll pretty heavy because we had photojournalism, we had newspaper together, Miss Grona's class.
Right.
So we'd roll around like selling different ads and whatnot, and so we were homies for a minute.
Did he burn his learner too?
Ah!
I did. I thought I heard something like that.
He's a guaranteed burner and learner, dude.
Right. Yeah, man. Good times though. That goes back to those pasture parties.
For
man.
sure.
Same shit. Full circle. But yeah, man. So so what's been going on in your life with everything else?
Everything else, you know me. I'm happy, waiting for the different parties that are gonna roll around.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Christmas time.
Yeah. I can't wait. Apparently, not everyone does turkey on Christmas. Also, I was asking homie. I was like, so aren't you anticipating the next Turkey Day? He's like, Turkey Day passed. I'm like, not here. We're gonna do turkey.
Yeah, we've always done it twice.
That was always my holidays, was turkey 2 times.
Absolutely.
In different variations, but it was turkey 2 times.
Right. And you know why Mexicans have tamales during holidays, Christmas time? So they have something to unwrap.
You making wetback jokes?
That guy's racist.
I love me some tamales, dude.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Man, all the different...
Bill Miller's is starting to sell tamales.
What?
Yeah, I saw it on the news this morning when I was getting ready. Bill Miller's in San Antonio. Only a certain place. I think it's Bill Miller, San Antonio, San Marcos, and Corpus Christi.
There's got to be the market. There's got to be the market.
You can buy like 1 or 2 if you want, or you can buy the dozen.
Ooh, got to get the dozen.
Smart.
I know. Yeah, if you don't get the dozen, you're playing around. I'm not going to lie to you. All you people ain't never had a tamale, like... You ain't getting the dozen, you just messing.
This boy can eat a dozen by himself.
Easily. Especially sometimes when they're like mass production. My grandmother and you know, for the ready people to eat around the household, they're made a little bit hardier. When they make them for like mass sale and all, it's a little bit skimpier.
Right.
So
they're trying to get the most out of it.
Exactly. It's a decent portion, but like you said, a dozen you could whack. You're hungry and they're good, bango.
Right. I like it, man. Me being in construction is, man, every once in a while, dude, there's nothing greater than seeing the minivan pop up and you see abuelita and tia pop out. Not mine, but just anybody.
Anyone's, yeah.
And they're like, tamales. And I'm like, how much? They're like $9 a dozen.
Running over there with your money.
Hell yeah. Like stiff-arming people. Get out of my way.
Watch it through, white boy. They ain't going to sell to you unless I say so.
Right. Yeah, man, it's Actually, I got lucky. I had no lunch the other day when I was working out in Lano, and the lady came by, and I was like, man.
Ooh.
And I told her, I was like, how much a dozen? And she said $10. I was like, crap, I only have 9. And she's like, that's fine. She was like, it's my last dozen anyway.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh, you got it. Humanity.
Yeah, score. Yeah, absolutely.
She's like, don't worry, mijito. You're going to eat. I made my money.
Right.
We're good to go.
Right.
You got to love it.
Humanity.
You got to love it.
For sure.
You know, I a long time ago came up with something. It's got to be somewhat stupid, but I feel relative where I think it could be done. You know me, there's not much I need. A good meal, you know, some knickknacks here and there. I think it should be tested if a person could just get by on the barter system for, you know, meals.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, you wouldn't, you know, you do work, right, around. You did that for this lady. You did that for, you know, all these different. Instead of them, people need money nowadays, just the way this shit's been built. But
I mean, go mow her grass and she gives me a dozen tamales.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it's worth 2 dozen, right? but you get meals out of it. Something that people really only need: food and other smaller knickknacks, like to get your life by. Not all the stuff that you go and buy because you have money, right? The stuff that. I don't know, makes life to them funner. Possibly to me, I don't know what it is. I buy batteries. I'm not gonna, you know, like, yeah. It's hard to say, right? But it could be tried out. You know, they already did the "Can you live on $1 a day" thing, right? Could you live on just bartering for food? You know, could you live on, you know, like I said, telling, okay, yeah, we'll come and do this work, and so and such gets, you know. 5 plates for her, and I don't know if it's an IOU system. I don't know if there's a place where all these meals get made. I don't know what, but like you relatively just get paid your own sustenance, and if you wanted to, I guess. Man, I enjoy food enough where I think it would be legit. You know, if you could get by.
I don't think I could do it as much as I dig the simplicity of that idea.
It's super simple. Like I said, it's so simple. It's almost stupid. But
because that's feeding the eat, but that's not feeding my pleasure of like chilling on that fucking chair right there that you see people. No, I like sitting there and I like watching movies. that's not gonna pay for that. That's pay for me to eat.
You know what? But you might be able to trade those meals.
Those 3 extra plates. That
to someone else who provides that you know, resource of a couch, of something.
You were thinking bigger than I was.
And you know what I mean? And everyone is fed, but they're still working. Everyone's still keeping up with whatever it may be done, but it's just another form of payment. It doesn't always have to be food, but it's just something that you could accept if maybe whoever it is you're going to do this work for doesn't have the capabilities of breaking out. You know, I don't know how much a person gets paid a day or whatever. It varies, right? Yeah. Let's just say $100, right? but she can easily guarantee you some odd many meals, or like I said, it might be too big for my brain, but I think that
there's one thing can be said though, is that whether you make $50 a day or you make $100 a day, I think if you're the latter making the $50 a day, you can still be well fed.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Everything. It's just
keeping up with the Joneses.
It's just picking. Yeah, exactly.
You have a basic vehicle, but you want the one of the year, and you're like, hey, you know what? It's only so much, and I can maybe I won't have toilet paper or who knows what, right? But yeah, it's keeping up with the Joneses that I think doesn't allow like you said, the $50 a day person to just get by. It's hard to say. I hate to just put everyone in a relative box, but
there's people I think that can do it. You know
for sure. I've been there. Me myself, I have a fun. I like to try and get by on the least amount.
Little?
Yeah, very little is the least amount of money I can in a day, and I try to do that daily. And me, I usually I spend. I'm not scared.
I recently went shopping with a friend, and she was laughing because I think she was laughing at my shopping style, which is like your shopping style. What you're saying, when you go into H-E-B, you got 15 different picks out of like toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that $15 toothpaste that's going to guarantee whitening, but there's another $5 toothpaste that's guaranteed whitening too. You go for the $5 one.
Easily.
So I don't know if that's what she was laughing about or what, but I felt like it was towards my nickeling and diming.
I don't mind shopping at Ross.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
no.
I'll hit the Ross up heavy.
Dude, if you got swagger,
you get designer jeans, like half the price. You know what I mean? It was the old adage to me that it always comes back is, that just that hustler mentality to me is a dollar saved is a dollar earned. So,
and that's
know what I mean.
If you that same saying 16 years ago, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You say that now, boy, that's gold.
It's like, right.
I see it. I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
that's a great saying.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people. I think there's still people my age that they get that fucking check every week, and they're like you said. For me personally, when I get my $450 check every week, because I get paid weekly. And it's roughly around that range.
Just to give you an idea.
If you
don't gotta tell me how much do you make?
Well, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I get paid on Thursdays, so if I can make it to Monday and I still got more than half of that check, I'm a fucking gangster. Because come Monday to Friday, I ain't leaving my house. I go to work and I go home. That's it. You know what I mean? So that saying, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. That's my dollar saved, dollar earned. If I can go and make it through the weekend and pay and buy my groceries, pay whatever bill I got to pay, and still have a little bit of fun, and I still got money come Monday, that's my dollar saved, a dollar earned, dude. That's my living right now. That's my life.
And by all intents and purposes, people might think that I have my moments where I splurge. You know what I mean? There's no doubt where. The weekend comes and you're gonna go, shit, I want to eat whatever I want to eat. I can now. I can, and it ain't gonna hurt anything.
My splurging right now is fucking McDonald's. Yeah. That's I'm getting nuggets in a burger. That to me is going out. You know what I mean?
Four items off the dollar menu today.
Right. Yeah. Because I ain't fucking with ladies, so I'm not going out to the movies and going to dinners. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to.
Those are full on splurges.
It's a day expensive, bro.
To me, that's a general splurge. Some folks, that's every day. They've got to do that to get by. That's that social media world, man. Like if you grew up past your parties and you interacted like how we're interacting, just talking face to face, eye to eye. You don't need that. You know what I mean? You like you said, you do your thing. You don't have it. You seek it. It's how we were talking. That fun wasn't. We could have been on our couch, but we went and found it. We knew it was all the way across the county. We knew it was another county over. We went and looked for it. We went and found it.
It was fun too, man. You go with your boys and listen to some tunes on the way out there. But now it's completely different.
So back to the whole like about a date being now anyone's day-to-day giving a must. You know, back then you didn't have it. You bought a 6-pack and you tore it up.
Yeah. You bought a 6-pack, I bought a 6-pack, they bought a 6-pack, and we were having fun for at least 2 to 4 hours.
Easily.
Yeah, dates are expensive, man.
Oh, no doubt. You know, just it's simply all the cost is going to be the gas.
Well, you were a wingman recently.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh man.
So what was that like?
Homeboy that I wingman for.
Which, by the way, to our viewers, this guy stepped in and helped. He was a wingman for a homie, so that's how this.
Straight up, you know what I mean. I'm gonna tell you, I've wingmaned many a time. I have no problem in the middle.
Gold in the Olympics of wingman.
Oh, I have no even vibing off. Like I could be in the middle of like a mad dash maverick score myself, but I see homie needing it, and I can do this. I can double tap.
So what was the deal with this here?
Well.
The guy hadn't been in the game. For
Yeah. He actually had just gotten recently divorced. He himself, and he was, you know, going on these little dates, meeting girls on you name the site, right? And be it Tinder, be it Plenty of Fish, be it whatever, right? Like he was meeting the girls, you name it, right? I can't name them all. I want to go on and on.
I don't fuck with it.
I want to go on and on, but those are like the real strong ones that are always appearing that I could name, right? Anyway, so. He's getting some pretty decent girls. He feels like he's semi-intimidated by them at the table where he's I don't know what to say. They're really attractive. Who knows what? So I told him, I was like, well, dude, they obviously wanted to be around you. They went on the date. Of course.
Sure.
There's always the gold digger. Sure, it's a meal. Who cares, right? But a girl can't go on 20 dates like that and eat so
right. She was feeling them.
I felt like it, but I came around to,
and he was liking her,
but so much where it was kind of like jiving him. It was messing with him. It wasn't letting him get into his groove. So I told him, I was like, well, the old school concept, the slump buster. So I brought it up. I was like, you just need a slump buster, homie, to get you right through that where you're more comfortable around these girls that you're meeting, because all he ever knew was she was his high school sweetheart, and then they had a little split, but they got back together, so it was almost generally all he knew and understood, if you will, as far as the complexity of women and what they want to talk about and where the conversation could be and how to feel comfortable in front of them, and he just felt comfortable in front of her, right, so on and so forth. Well, the slump buster, he had determined that this is the one, right? I don't know if she was, backing for her homegirl or what, but she would only go out on the date if her friend could come along, is how it broke down. So he needed a wingman to be able to score this.
Do you mean be the third wheel, or motherfucker, you better get her a date if you want to hang out with me?
You know what? I'm kind of thinking that's how it might have worked.
So it wasn't just third wheel. She needs a date too.
She needs a date too. Yeah, she needs a date too.
And so you were willing to step up?
Yeah. He told me his situation. He's like, so I found homegirl. She seems cool enough. Obviously, attractiveness was there, but it was still on the level where he felt, I don't know what it was. Maybe these girls weren't. Maybe they were just one mother, one parent, or I don't know. But he felt more comfortable around this woman, where he was like, this is where it could work out. But the double date needed to go down, and he couldn't. Me, I'm here in town. This was all the way in SA.
Oh.
Yeah. So this was San Antonio, and I was like, sure, why not? Me, I'm always fuck it, whatever. He's like, don't worry, I'll pay for it. Speaking of expensiveness, right? Homeboy paid for we went to a GS burger joint, right? Cheddar's or Chester's or something like that.
Right.
GS burger joint. We had beers there. I'm getting the bacon cheeseburger. I'm grinding. We dig out there. He paid for it all. Expensive, right? Nonetheless, we went and had margaritas over at some other joint. Well, he's enticing me with all this, right? Like, I'll pay, and I'm, shit. I know you need it. I'm down. Like, I don't care. Me. Like, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't have to. I'm not hurting where I need this where I'm like, oh,
You're not there for you, so the pressure's off.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the pressure's way up.
You're just there to keep conversation relevant.
Exactly, super relevant. Where I'm just, like I said, if I'm always open. If that's what's going down, that's what's going down. But it's no necessity for myself, right? So it was, I was just gonna let it play out. Well, I show up. He's getting off of work. His co-worker's like, "Oh, you're the cousin." He's
like, to do it?
Yeah, and I was like, what? He's like, you don't want to. He's like, you should see the picture. And I knew I was in for something then. And my cousin's like, you sure you still want to go? And I was like, bro, don't even show me the picture.
No shit.
Yeah, I was like, don't even show me the picture.
You were like, I'm not there for that, right?
I was like, don't even show me the picture. I'm gonna show you, like, me. Like I'm like, don't worry,
Fuck yeah.
This motherfucker after this had the nerve to ask me one time if I was gonna shell in. If I was gonna like box myself in and not talk anymore. Anyways, so yeah. So this,
you don't know this motherfucker.
Yeah, he don't know me, right? So he could tell I was whatever about it. Other guy was wary. We go on the date. He's feeling me. He's like, well, she's pretty rough looking, and I was like,
so a Latina or what?
Yeah. She was a Latina. He's like, she's
age
pretty
range.
Right. She was easily in her 50s.
Whoa!
Yeah. And I'm telling you, nails, dude. Nails.
Like all painted up and...
No, like she was rich. Like, like on the chalkboard. Like,
yeah. Shit.
Bro, so...
Like on a fucking bender of meth and shit?
Yeah. Easy, guaranteed pill popper. You know what I mean? You could see it, like she was.
Well, then what was his chick like?
His chick wasn't as bad.
Okay.
She was probably, I guess.
Certified slump buster.
She was definitely slump buster for him.
Stamped.
For homeboy, for you know what I mean. I can't say that he's a 10 or maybe even an 8, but I bet you he's an easy. I bet you homeboy's an easy 6.5, 7.
Right.
And then we're on the date, we do our thing. I eating, schmoozing, talking to homegirl so he could do his thing, right? So he could giggle and play and schmooze and whatever he wants to with, his real date. And I could tell, she wanted to be catty, the old bitch, and wanted to be like, why are you so young and who knows what? And I was just like, I don't know what to say. I just, I appear young for whatever reason, and I just kept talking to her and just being nice and so on and so forth. And she easily wanted to doldrum it down and be Debbie Downer and knock on my cousin's game and be like,
cock blocking.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Mouth her burger and like, let's get out of here, right? Oh, well, okay, well we can go for margaritas, so on and so forth. And I had to placate her and like I said, just do the wingman thing for full on. We hop to bar, do our thing. She's getting more reckless. I'm still preoccupying her, right? Keeping her out of my homie's hair so he can do his thing. Night's winding down. I just climbed in the pickup, dude. I was like, man, I'm not saying goodbye to none of these bitches. I'm just getting in the pickup, rolling up. I just, bye. Fucking roll up the window and just sat there, let him schmooze.
If you were Batman, you would have dropped the canister of smoke and it would have disappeared.
Right? Homegirl was like, oh, bye. And she knew too. She just got in the pickup.
That's good.
Yeah. And my cousin and his chick, they did their old little wraparound, made out around the car. While they were like getting the thing. And it didn't happen. This was just a precursor, a setup, a meet and greet.
Right.
And they made out a little bit. Homeboy gets in, he's like, oh my god, you're wingman status, upper echelon, apex, who knows what, right? He's supposedly gonna write a whole, this guy should be the wingman, gold wing, and who knows what. Yeah, so
if I had to be in that situation, I'd definitely call you up.
And like I said, he had the nerve one time, much later, to ask me if I was gonna like box up and close in, because we were meeting a whole new group of his friends, and it came up where he's like, well, he's driving, so he asked me to talk to him on the phone. And so I'm talking, and I'm just getting the legitness
dude
about...
friends or chick friends?
Dude friends with girls that are going to be there.
Okay.
But I'm talking to the guy.
Right.
And, I hear girls in the background, and none of the girls got on the phone, but so I'm talking to homeboy, and I'm just being real to the point where we're at, how long we're gonna, it's gonna take, where we'll meet you, so on and so forth. And he's over here trying to do his own like background spiel, his inside jokes with homie, right, and wants me to break them down for him, and little inside jokes we've made amongst ourselves and break them down for him. And I'm like, I'm not doing that over the phone. I can jive on the phone. I don't mind talking on the phone. I could have one of those jobs too, like right. But I knew that it was gonna not give me my full. It's one of those when you first meet someone. Well, he could actually get like a little meeting of me, and I could wind up,
You weren't gonna dull it down.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna dull it down. I was gonna wait till we meet, and you'll get to know. I don't know what it is, but homeboy was building, my cousin's building me up. I done told him how funny you are.
Oh, I hate that.
Me too, I hate it so much. Like, it's happened to me 101 times. Don't worry, I told him how funny you are. I invited so-and-so. And don't worry, I told him how funny you are.
Then you walk up into the party like, so there was an elephant and a horse, and they walked into the bar, right?
I've been, the first time I got told that, I said absolutely nothing.
You get the pressure.
You know what? I felt like this bitch brought me along just because I'm funny. Guess what? I'm on a record, and I'm still not going to say nothing to anyone she knows.
I can't do
So
that.
it was one of those.
If it's a drinking situation, I'm talking.
Yeah. No, we were still drinking, but I was just like, I appeased people. I spoke, but I just didn't let myself go as to be like, I don't know what it is, right? Whatever it may be, but
So that's good. It went good though.
Oh, for sure. I said,
you had your wingman status all the way, right?
Oh, yeah. I call him up, ask him. He'll probably still tell story line for line and be like, you should have seen. He was probably, doing his thing and kind of looking over at us and making sure it was all going good and like wondering how is he appeasing
this wretched.
Yeah, exactly. Good. I mean. It was a guaranteed. I mean,
I'm getting like in my mind. I'm thinking some black tooth, fucking redheaded, wrinkly old.
You're not too far off, man.
Damn.
You're not too far off.
I know wretched San Antonio chicks.
Yeah, and she was on that.
I've been to the mall in Ingram many times.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like to put people down or talk ill of a certain. Whatever it may be that made her what she was, because there's a lot of people that meet in these general spectrums that aren't her, you know what I mean, aren't as unappealing as she is for all the reasons
could
that she was.
Could have been super sweet still.
It could have been, but she wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? She, like I said, she was. Yeah.
She wouldn't be hateful.
Yeah, and I had to just be nice, which like I said, I knew that was my thing going in.
And the good thing is you humored her, you were nice about it. Because you didn't have to be nice about it. You could have been like, bitch, I don't want to be here either. Yeah. But you were being nice, and that probably made her stop cock blocking her friend. Because that's probably what was going to end up happening.
Very, very much so.
That's probably what her intentions were going into.
Yeah, like, I'm going to put him down, and then I'm going to put his friend down. And when I didn't, allow it to happen, I was just like, because...
And you were being nice to her. Yeah. Humanity.
Yeah, for sure. Humanity. All the way, humanity.
Because you could have easily stepped out of that shit.
I don't know, like I said, why he or anyone, it happens a lot, you know what I mean? I can see someone might want to say something to me, but it never happens. You yourself said, or you feel like I'm approachable, right? And I feel like I am too, and I might put off a little standoffishness as to be, more masculine in the world or who knows what, but, I mean, I give anyone the time of day to say something to me, right?
Same here.
So... I don't know why he thought he himself was so caught off guard that I was going to be, nice to this person.
That's so weird because it's one of the Bubbas, right?
Yeah.
And you've been around them all your life. To not know you as an outspoken kind of a guy just is a shock to me because that's all I've ever known of you. But then again, I guess that's part of our relationship is that we're both like that. You know what I mean? So we're both like, hey!
No, well, I think he knew the outspokenness or the if you will, the outgoingness and all that. But... Maybe I come off as where I don't want to say arrogant or cocky or anything like that, but you know what I mean. I myself have a certain attraction level of woman that I want to, that I perceive as my I don't know if equals the word, but is my attraction, right? Like, you know, and she definitely wasn't nowhere near that
she
quota.
wasn't hitting that mark.
She was nowhere near that, you know, those, if you will, guidelines. So he probably thought that I was gonna be
just standoffish.
Yeah, standoffish and maybe rude, maybe who knows what.
Right.
But nah, on myself, I'm nice. Don't be mean to me, and I won't be mean to you. You know, it's one of them.
Yeah, and that's good, man. You were there for the bro, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's about, man. Being there for your bro, and you wingman it so that he gets laid. He didn't get laid, but he made a good impression.
Oh no, and he wanted. He told me he smashed. He's one of those.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he. You know,
all right.
I don't do the whole
Slump buster
thing.
excelled.
For sure. He's
Right.
up and above and beyond.
Well, that's great, man. That's good. And hopefully she got something beautiful out of it.
I think, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because when he was...
We talked about the slut shaming last time.
Oh, for sure.
Guys and girls, they got to get... Everybody needs love.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you a slut.
Where I think the emotional thing, again, is... You know what I mean? People need to be more open about sex and where they're at in life and where they, you know... want to be later on in life, and all those need to be spoken about. And I think if a girl says, you know what, like, hey, I just want to fuck, like, and the guy's like, you know what, me too, and it's not like, oh, I don't do one night stands, but the girl's obviously just wants to bone, and the guy gets this whole idea like, oh, well, maybe she don't just do one night stands. Well, we could be a thing.
Right.
You know, and then the girl, she's off boning and says, I just really wanted to bone. And so be it. But, you know, don't lie. Be real. Be real.
Sure.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And if a woman will be real to the guy in turn should only be real to the woman, and vice versa. Right. You know what I mean? If the guy is pouring out that I'm not a relationship dude, you know, that old folk, that cliche or whatever, the woman should probably hear him out and be like, okay, so you're just a hit it and quit it, and if I want to, I will allow you to hit it and quit it, and if I don't, you won't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's understood. It's given. You know,
dating would be a lot better if it was like going to a restaurant and reading a menu. You know what I mean? Like if you're going,
I kind of get it, but I'm kind of.
When you go out to a restaurant and you read the menu and you look, oh, that spaghetti plate. Okay, it's got spaghetti with some.
Okay, all the ingredients
oregano.
listed.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with dating. When you talk to a guy and the guy's like, I'm not really looking for a relationship, but I am definitely open to hit it and quit it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it works out to where you're cool, then I'm cool with the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the one side of the menu, and then you got another guy who's like, I'm just really here for you to fuck me, and you get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be nice to have that. But I feel like guys that are gonna say, I just want to fuck you and you get the fuck out, are also the guys that are gonna say like, I like long walks on the beach. You're not gonna get that kind of honesty.
So many people are quite the contrary.
Yeah,
you know
you don't
what I mean?
get that honesty.
I
think that's a shame.
Long story short, I had that happen to me. A girl was coming, you know, was going to be in, you know, we were going to interact, if you have a relationship, whatever you want to call it. And she's like, you know, I don't actually do boyfriends, and, you know, gee with me, I don't do, if you will, the girlfriend thing, right? So we had fun, we were doing it. Next thing you know, I don't know, a week or so goes by. She's trying to play the whole girlfriend card on me, like, you know, I just think we're good together. Why don't we have this relationship started? I was just, what do you just told me?
Yeah, you know, you cannot flip flop like that.
There's you got to stick to your guns. You know, there's flip flopping causes all those, you know, like anger, anguishes, and people being irritated, and then they drama. Drama. Then they drop the slut word, and then it when there's no call for it, if people were just real about it, you know.
Yeah, but there's really nothing worse than meeting somebody and they give you this whole different idea of what you're getting into, and then you get into it and you're totally taken back, and you're almost having to be an asshole by being honest about the situation, but at the same time you're like, well, I'm not really being an asshole, I'm being honest.
Completely.
But they put you in that spot.
Yeah, they make you out to be the asshole, but it's that whole political correctness thing we were talking about, where it rules over the mentality of society that saying really what you feel is rude or foul or not cool, when saying really what you feel is how people should get to know you, and then they get a better understanding of you, and they don't get these stupid like, oh, I had no idea this guy, or he was such the nicest guy, I would have never thought. If society just asked people to be real, everyone might know a little bit more about everyone else, so I think it goes back to that, about it layers on society all over and over and over again, with just we're talking sex right now, and relationships, and being real, and women not wanting to be shamed, and I wish I could think of a guy version of shaming, but
yeah, there really isn't. I think
the only one is a pretty vicious one. And I don't know, I don't know that.
What do you mean?
That slut isn't a bad one itself. I mean, I'm a guy, so I don't really think.
If guys are knocking boots, you're like, "What up, dog?"
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? The wild shame that a woman, and I don't know why it's not being thrown around, if they really felt like it could hurt, right? But the like, oh, he's got a little penis.
Yeah.
They want to. That one will definitely shame some guys, but
it's not in the same context, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I guess you still had to see it, so it'd be like saying it would.
I think saying he's a bad lay.
You think that would?
No, but that's not in the same realm, because we're talking about getting laid. Yeah. Slut shaming is about getting laid.
Yeah.
A woman gets laid too many times, she's a slut. A man gets laid too many times, it's like, damn, that dude's got it. He's got a game,
He's swaggered bound.
Yeah.
Like,
so
heavy
really
swag.
thing. But to go back to what you were saying, about the honesty thing, yeah, I think it sucks that in today's world, being honest is you being an asshole.
Yeah,
but in my opinion, being honest with somebody is a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really being like, I respect you enough to where I can tell you my deep, darkest secrets, or tell you exactly how I feel.
Because to me, in a lot of aspects, a lie is something, or just for all intents, the complete opposite of being real or telling the truth, right? The lie is something that you do to dumb someone down. You know what I mean? You think that, they can't handle it. They're not intelligent enough to understand it. So you give a simple, we'll just call it that, a lie, when it's not real. When all you had to do was be real to someone, and you're smartening them up that much more. Right. If you feel like they're not smart enough to understand what you're saying, then be real with them, and you're smartening them up that much more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can always get a good judge of somebody's character when somebody goes into a situation and they tell you the truth, knowing it's going to hurt their benefit, in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But to tell somebody something and it hurts them, hurts you, and it hurts their benefit. Like I said, that's a real sign of respect for somebody. To say like, I'm going to hurt you, but it isn't. It doesn't mean that I hate you, or it doesn't mean that I don't like you. But I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
this is it. Yeah. That's a good friend or a good whatever.
Being that's how I live, I found myself in so many situations where I thought, you have that, where it could be bad. It could go bad. You're about to smash, but you got to tell her, like, this is where it's got to be, girl. Like, this is where it's up, right? And then
I'm not looking for a relationship or whatever. Right?
And you know what I mean? Like, where I was getting is that you think that he's going to be negative of it, and 9 times they're like, oh, hell yeah, it's on,
Yeah.
And so people will find just being truthful in the world will get you a long ways. People will honor and respect that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like you said, even you feel like, okay, it's going to denigrate your status of being well-spoken or
not liked,
or
whatever.
Yeah. A nice guy. You can still be a nice guy and humorous and say crude things. I think to me that doesn't take away you from being a nice guy. It's when you escalate it and direct it towards someone, then you're being mean, if you will. You know what I mean? And then so
you're fat.
Yeah.
Somebody like, hey, sweetie, I think you're a gorgeous girl, and I think you, whatever. Just, it's all like we said, all in how you say it. You know what I mean? Like, you could go about saying things, and that's one thing I preach a lot. One of my previous girlfriends, she had a hard time speaking up for herself, and I would we would almost have classes, in a sense, between us two, where I'm very good at talking to people and talking about what I want and how I want it, because I'm just an alpha male. So I would talk to her about how she should go about saying things. And one of my rules was, before you say something that you feel is uncomfortable to tell somebody, say something nice first. You know what I mean? Like, you got a friend named Betty who's a little bit fat, but she wears too tight of clothes. You're like, hey, Betty, you're a gorgeous girl, but you're making yourself look a little funny when you wear those tight clothes. And if she gets pissed, let her be pissed. But you're trying to help her in the long run.
You're setting the guideline of what you're trying to get out. You know, you obviously said something nice, like you said. Start it like that, so they get the idea of where you're going with your comment.
Exactly.
Not that you're just like, oh, you shouldn't just wear that. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You go in. I don't care who you are. You tell anybody. You tell me that, and I'm still gonna be like, bitch.
You ain't telling Swagger King.
It's all in how you set up the jump shot. You know what I mean? And if you go about it like Johnny said, straightforward, you're gonna get it blocked. Yeah. But you go in there with a little bit of a juke, like, hey girl, you look good, or hey dude, you're going, you're the man, but you're going about this wrong. Whatever. You go about it in any of those situations, whether it be career or relationship wise. You're knocking the wall down first, and you're allowing the openness to communicate there. So that's one of my rules. If you ever have a situation where you're in a bad spot where you need to tell somebody something and you feel really uptight about telling them, go with something nice first, and then go with what you gotta say.
Yeah, luckily we had
rehearse it a few times.
Yeah,
I always rehearse it. I always rehearse it.
Man, that's one of my things that keeps me up at night is playing back stuff and whatnot.
Me too.
Like what am I gonna say when
you're not a napper? I bet you don't nap very much.
Okay, I might find myself where I'm like, maybe I don't know.
Because your brain never stops.
No, for sure.
That's exactly how I am. Man. Exactly the same.
So, thankfully we grew up listening, and Tupac had that song, you ain't gotta lie to kick it. You know what I mean?
And the bitches.
You know what I mean? And nowadays I like to tell people, because you get around a lot of folks and bullshit happens. Bullshitting occur, talking, as we like to call it, just bullshitting.
We got PhDs in it by now.
Yeah, it goes on, you know what I mean? Bullshitting happens. And there's variations of it, like it was just talking about sports. That's bullshitting. And then you got the real bullshitters that will lie on stuff, right? And in being around those people, I gotta tell them, like, you know what? Like, I'm all good with bullshitting. Let's bullshit, but don't lie. There's no reason to lie about things, bro. Like, bullshit, and we bullshit a lot. But there ain't no reason to lie about anything, right? So people just keep it real out there with your folks, and you'll find the realness reflect back on yourself. Yeah. And
you open that dialogue, and if you can open the dialogue of honesty with everybody, just think about that, what kind of respect that breeds. You know what I mean? Just being that open dialogue of being like, hey, I really don't want to do that, or I don't really like your friend, or whatever. That opens so much dialogue with communication with whether it's a friend, girlfriend, or co-workers. You open that kind of honesty dialogue, there's really nothing stopping you from there. And
there's no doubt that there's a system to it, a way to go about it, right? Because you don't just see a fat person, oh, you're fat, or see whatever it may be that you could tell someone is the truth. Right. It's not like that. It's not. That's a different. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that's. I guess an own version of lying, but it's hard to say.
You gotta have good intentions.
It's a good thing we're talking about it, so I can start to determine where I feel on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you're truthful in your everyday, so on, but you're not with maliciousness just calling out people like whatever it may be. The truth is, right? Like
that's
you're cross-eyed.
You're looking for a fight. If you're gonna treat somebody that ugly, and don't expect oh really? No. If you go into something talking that mean to somebody, whatever it is, whether it be how they dress, how they drive, how they cook, you can't go in there throwing shots and expect them to have a conversation with you. No, you got to go in there and be light about it and open the dialogue. You know, like, hey man, you know, like for instance, if you're dating a woman who can't cook that good, but she just be like, hey babe, I love that you're trying to cook for me, and you don't understand how much that makes me happy.
Yeah.
But you might want to tighten up a little bit of your spices or whatever. Then she's not being like, hey motherfucker.
Yeah. You know, for sure. Leo told Arlette straight out way back when, years ago, right? Decades, I guess. Told her straight up, your cooking sucks. Homeboy got the frying pan full of beans at him. Boom!
Are you fucking kidding me?
Serious, dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's the story I heard anyway. So I'm only imagining a frying pan of beans or whatever going his way. No, for real. You know, you got to go about it right. You got to, you know.
It's all about respect.
The effort was there. Just give give constructive criticism.
It's also
that's another thing that, you know, growing up in life that I think was to my favorite, you know, to my good graces, was I received criticism as it was, but I took it for constructiveness rather than breaking me down and making me whatever I could have been, right?
Well, see, you were what I consider an intellect, because there's people who are going to get criticized, and they're either going to do two things. Or they're going to be like, analyze it. What can I do better? You know what I mean? And that, I think the intellectual people are going to be like, what can I do better? And then you got those, fuck you. And they still doing the same thing. And what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same fucking thing.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to me, that's a sign of intelligence if you can take constructive criticism. If you're dating a guy and he doesn't take constructive criticism, you probably want to bounce.
Yeah, you want to get rid of it, because just life in general is going to not treat.
And same goes for a man with a woman. If you're dating a woman who can't take constructive criticism,
but you got to know how to dull it out too.
Exactly. You can't just say.
But about the intelligence factors, not all criticism has to be taken. Like I said, it could have been. They could have tried to have said what they were saying with malice, with bad intentions. That we're just going to criticize them and bring them down, right? But I learned, thankfully, good, you know, like I had heard the word and you know, the concept of constructive criticism, and I just broke it down as all of it was that, you know. It's like some people, I've heard it said that you don't believe in bad luck, you know, because luck is luck.
Right.
You know, bad luck is a word that's been made up, you know. So when I heard constructive criticism, I didn't think of, you know, everyday criticism is, you know, something that should bring me down. I was like, I'm going to utilize it as something that, if I feel like it, if it really does, you know, weigh on me, where someone said something where I was like, oh, okay, so that's the bad thing. So I'll try to make that better, if you will.
Right. Yeah, because you also have those dickheads out there who are just going to talk shit.
Oh, yeah.
You take a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're throwing puns out this motherfucker. Glasses half full.
Puncast.
Yeah, I know.
101.
Really?
No, you know what? I had a homie who was killer with this stuff. He could throw out thingamajigs, nackamadoos, all that in a whole little skit, right? He could blah, 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 blah. And all those little puns were breaking out. He just one by one by one by one. It's like he was making a rap out of them. I was like, dude, I knew all the ones he was saying, right? Like knickknacks or thingamajigs or all the little, you know what they are, but you only utilize them in those certain contexts, and he could break them all down for you, man. It was hilarious.
Damn.
Yeah.
We better wrap this motherfucker up. We're about to hit the hour and 30-minute mark is where we're at right now. So,
we've been jamming.
We went an extra 30 minutes, but we just hit that point. I think a lot had to do with the fact that I've been drinking, so we just kind of rolled.
Yeah. And what do the Itai say? Or is that just Latin? I don't know. Maybe it's just Latin. In vino veritas. In wine there's truth.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know.
I hadn't had nothing to drink, but you know me.
I guarantee you, if I would have drank at least a 6 and then we got started, you would hear some shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing for you listeners is that me and Johnny have talked about this before, is that we hold back a lot of what we want to say and how we want to say it.
Not to say that we're not being real, but we're just, if you will, like you said, holding back, just not being as aggressive. We don't want to be put anyone off.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to.
Just for us to be able to say whatever we feel is right because of vulgarity's sake. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yeah, because you're probably getting about 60%, really. Like Johnny said, we're being real, but we're just giving you the subtleness, or just a little bit off the top. We're not really hitting you with the whole dynamite stick, you know. And that might change. You never know. We're still trying to figure it out, even though we're at our 14th episode mark. We might just hit the pedal down and just fucking go full-fledged.
Tell that one dirty story.
Yeah, because there's so much that we just hold back on, and you know what? I think we just might hit that pedal. You never know. We're getting to that point where it's
maybe some feedback might let us know. I mean, because I feel the people we could disrespect, the old folks that have this language barrier of just day to day cursing like we might do. I mean, I'm in no.
Well, we both work construction.
Yeah, I'm in no business realm where I gotta hold my tongue and say. I mean, of course, you don't want to be completely ignorant and just fuck every word, right? Like, fuck. But no problem, like every other one, to emphasize what I'm trying to get out.
If I'm saying a 10-word sentence, I have no problem 4 or 5 of those being the F word. You know what I mean? But you're right. The fact of the matter is,
there's people that
our expression, we don't want to alienate guests on this show. It's really what that comes down to.
For sure.
Is we don't want to alienate the kind of guests that we can have, and that the guests that we have had on.
And might want to listen to your local dudes talk, but don't want to hear them talking about the crudeness of whatever's out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like we're riding that fine line between respecting anyone we should and can, and still being ourselves.
Yeah, because there's no doubt we're still ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're just not giving you the full throttle this, because there's so much that. I mean,
anyone who's probably heard or been around us for a given amount of time is like, oh, these guys, if they really went off.
Yeah, like our family. Yeah. Our family knows us, and
we can be pretty stupid.
Yeah, there's so many jokes that we could throw out there, but we don't, because they're on the R-rated side. You know what I mean? And but like I said, we're still trying to figure it out. And you know what? We might just might hammer down, and we never stop.
If you are, someone that we interpret or we deem as that respectful group, I always think elder. You know what I mean? Older.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Because they're the ones, like I said, have that language barrier.
And I noticed we had lost some. We had lost a couple subscribers on some of the podcasts that we put out there, and I'm thinking those were the elders.
And if you're on the up and up, and you think you're real too, and you're like, nah, just be you guys and cuss it up. Sailors did it way back when. You can still do it now. Let us know, and that might change it.
Because there's so many stories that we want.
There's always going to be those people that.
Yeah.
No matter what you said, even it would have to be a complete, clean show for some people not to be
offended.
Upset. Yeah, offended of some.
And honestly, I just ain't got the effort to make a clean show.
I
don't have that much effort to stop myself from saying some of the shit that I like to say.
No way. No way whatsoever.
Because there's so many stories that we don't tell, that we would love to tell, that we just don't, because we just don't want to throw people off. Yeah, but you know what? I think at some point we're just gonna have to say fuck it. But man, thanks for listening. This is number 14. This is December the 14th as well, so it's a 14 on 14 crime.
Keep the humanity alive.
Yeah, everybody be good to one another.
Become a BS professional.
And it's even more reason to be good with one another, because the holiday seasons are coming up.
Sure.
And I just want to send out a very special hello to my daughter. She's about to turn 2 on Sunday, and right now she's too young to see this. But when the whole part of me wanting to do the show.
Are you worried about the terrible twos?
No, not at all. She's a great kid, very good kid.
Like I said, I only hear things, and that's one of the things I've heard.
I gotta say, my
daughter. I learned about that one real young. Remember the show Dinosaurs?
Yeah,
that's baby. Yeah.
Not
terrible too. Sorry to interrupt.
No, man.
Sure. Happy birthday to all the youngins coming.
Yeah.
We got Grayson coming up too.
Yeah, for sure. He's about to be 2 as well. And a big part of me wanting to do the show is just to have an archive for my daughter to watch when she turns 21 or whatever it may be, and she's going to be like, hey, that's my daddy and that's Uncle Johnny. So right now she's too little to understand this, but from my heart to you, baby girl, you're about to be you're about to be 2 years old, and I love you.
Way into the future.
You've changed me in so many ways that I can't explain, and I'm so thankful that you came into my life, and I get to see the beauty that I never got to see until you were here, and I've been waiting for you for 35 years of my life. So thank you for coming into my world, and can't wait to share the rest of our time together. And one day you'll see this and you'll appreciate it. and I'll give you that kiss on the cheek when you watch this with me. All right. So, anyways, y'all be good. Humanity, be good to one another.
Humanity.
The holiday season, donate to that Goodwill or whatever those guys ringing the bells out in front of HEB and all those. Donate a couple chains to that because that all goes to people.
Help out someone in need.
Yeah, Haven for Hope. They donate some toys and clothes, whatever you got, to the Haven for Hope in San Antonio. They're that homeless shelter out there doing really good work, and this is about the time that they could use some supplies and toys and say hello to Kevin Longhaven when you're out there.
People are cold out there.
Yeah, blankets, anything you can do. Donate. This is the time to do it. It can do a world of good. So y'all be good to one another, and thanks for listening. We enjoy everybody.